Hello and welcome to episode 25 of our Timberborn 1.0 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 24, day 6. Last time we expanded our sunflower area, did a couple things, and maybe caused a couple of problems that might need to be fixed. We'll see what happens. But I'm feeling pretty good for the most part about what we have done lately. I do appreciate everybody's kind comments in the last video. I do try to make these as good as I can, but with unedited style is kind of hard sometimes when things go wrong. I digress. Delicious noises. We are in the process of getting library books compressed into an incredibly compact set that will become part of the ENS, or, as some of you suggested, could possibly become a second library to speed up the process of getting science while we are waiting for said ENS. Well, we'll see what happens. We got plenty of stuff to take care of. We have 40 of the exotic seeds coming in through here. We got, do we already have 50? No, we have 40 total, including this. All right. So theoretically, in-universe, we're looking at about 5-ish days, 4 or 5 days, before we have enough exotic seeds to do our tree nursery. And that was a thing that was supposed to go up here. And we've been in the process of getting the dynamite applied to level all of this ground. Not necessarily going to be something we do immediately, but we do need to keep our eyes peeled for opportunities to improve this. Someone said I should check and see if I have any zipline blueprints left, which we have 4. It's very good to keep an eye out for that. I do appreciate all of you continuously doing that, and I think it's probably about time for us to make another batch of duplicated blueprints. So we're going to turn on the Copyist Lodge and the Artist Lodge, let them get to work so we don't run out of the zipline blueprints. That would be annoying if we had to make more of those. And there is something we need to discuss regarding this farmhouse. Now, I had previously said that it would be a very good idea for us to have the farmhouse here to help with all these things. But somebody made a comment that said, well, aren't they going to just destroy all these lotuses here? And then I said, you know what? That's going to be a problem. We need to stop doing that. But as it turns out, this isn't currently connected. And you know what? I think we can just leave it this way because we have the zipline add-on to get over here. That is not going to allow this to actually directly access these, but still get to the island if they wanted to. I may want to reconfigure this so it's not coming from here. I'm not entirely sure yet, to be completely honest with you, but at least we know this isn't going to be a tremendously huge problem. Let's get triple speed all the way through the rest of the night here as we can actually see, because there's a lot to discuss. Many things to fix, many things to improve, and it's a lot easier to do that during the daytime. So, the sun is up. We have this area over here where I talked about the irrigation lodge not needing to be a thing forever. But what we will probably want to do is automate this building to Bad Gary so that when the time comes, this can defend this whole thing. Now, they may end up taking the pollution resistance factor out, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy huge issue. We might want to consider monitoring that when the next bad tide comes in. Because, you know, it's also possible that we don't really need it, based on the bad water going down underneath this and only minimally impacting some of these sunflowers. All of that being said, we also have the opportunity here to come up, if we were very careful. We could blast this out right here and use ladders, and then eliminate all of these paths to grow a little bit more sunflowers. I kind of like that idea, to be perfectly honest with you, and I think it is going to be worth us doing that. I'm not going to blow this up. I lied. I'm definitely going to blow this up. We don't need that tunnel. But what we can do is get this connected like so. Actually, I could just have that go straight through. Don't think that's going to be a problem. But it would be nice to have more of these sunflower seeds here. That would be a tremendously helpful, useful thing. It looks like this has, oh. Pausing this building. Is that because the building's paused, or because I put the dynamite there? Okay, it's because the dynamite removed the path. Good to know, because if this pausing disabled the hauler tower, that would probably not be great. I digress. Okay, for kaboom. And now we can see all the way down here. Very easily connected. We could straighten this out if we really wanted to. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah, you know, we're going to be fine doing this. Is this on the correct side? Looks like it is. Okay, so that's going to go there. We will, of course, have to keep these paths here, but once this is built, we can get rid of that. And that will allow us to plant, okay, 6 more sunflowers, but hey, it's better than nothing. We have a geothermal field here that someone said would be a good opportunity to get hooked up and added to the power network. Yeah, eventually. Not a bad idea. We do have a relic here that we could get to if we felt so inclined, but we don't currently have a good pathway to it. All that being said, I am going to go ahead and mark them for demolition, just in case we were able to make that work. Never hurts to have additional means of accomplishing something. We know this goes underneath over to there. This may actually start creeping through here if we're not careful. So why don't we, oh, it's not going to let me do that. Okay. Well, why don't we just, for the time being, stick a fence here. They can't actually reach that, so let's give them a, yep, there they go. I don't want them coming through here and then assaulting this entire area. That would be a bad idea. We got water pumps here. I do see you guys in the comments saying that this is not really a great place to put a bunch of water pumping because this is going to be empty. And yes, that is a valid concern. However, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. These have a maximum depth of 6 meters. Right now they are doing 3. These are doing 4. So if we want, what we can do is we can triple dynamite here, double dynamite here, and then triple dynamite all of these all the way through, along with all of this. Give us a little bit more space from which to pump. Make sure it will all flow in there, and, you know, over time we can deepen this. Will not be a problem. The bigger issue will be, can this get filled up fast enough to replenish if this is pumping like we think it's pumping. Even so, we do have some water coming in from here. It will refill. The issue is just going to be, is it going to flow out here before it goes over here? It depends. I did reply to somebody's comment saying that I didn't necessarily want or need to extend the height of this primitive dam because we want the water to flow out through here. But I don't think we really need to anymore because, in theory, we've diverted all of the bad water. We will see how good of a job we did deepening this in the next bad tide. But if that is the case, then we could extend the height of these dams here, which would make it so the water does not flow out this way, instead comes through here, and then makes its way off the edge of the map here, or all the way over here. We don't want to raise the height of everything because then all the stuff is going to get flooded, and, you know, we really don't want that. Wow, they did this quick. But yeah, just, we're thinking about it. We're not in a tremendously great spot on everything, but we are thinking about it, and for the most part, stuff is fine. Now, the more annoying part is, where do I click? Okay. Yeah, we don't have a lot of nitroglycerin. This is set to make nitroglycerin. It just takes a while. We might want more alchemists after some point in time. For now, I think we are okay. The rope maker is full of rope, so we might want to start automating some of these very specific industrial buildings based on storage capacity. And as of right now, we only have 36 rope storage, period, point blank. I know later on we are going to want, if I can remember where these things are. Yeah, we use ropes in the elevator to the abyss and some of these other things, so we do want to keep making those. But we should have more storage regardless. Just different things to think about. Automating is not necessarily bad. It's just when things get kind of complicated, that's when I start to think, okay, well, I kind of don't want to mess with this right now. But we did build this. And in theory, the sawdust low alert is working. It's just a matter of, trying to do something that is not completely insane. I know that is something we will all resonate with there. Now, if I wanted to take not a depth sensor, a resource counter, which is like right here, and build it correctly, facing the outside, as I was told was necessary, if we were to do this with sawdust, not for a minimum, but for a maximum, just come over here and get this set up. This is another thing we needed to talk about, and I just, keep putting stuff off so it never gets addressed, not addressed. Where is my sawdust? There it is. So, if the sawdust measurement gets over 90%, I think, is what whoever it was who left that comment said, then this would activate and turn on a wood burner, which I don't think I have a wood burner. Let's check. I do not, but a wood burner would... wood. Where's my wood burner? Is it under metal? Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, just a wood burner set to dispose of excess sawdust so stuff does not get jammed up. I don't think this is a bad idea. I just want to make sure that wherever the sawdust is being made or stored, rather, is kind of close to the wood burner. Or I can just put it in a place that I have relatively simple access to. I think that would not be bad. Like right here. Not a great spot necessarily, but it would work. That set burn excess sawdust. I need to... Oh, I didn't name this one, but I want this to turn on when resource counter 1 is active, which is... Oh, where is this thing? We'll call this sawdust... We'll call it overflow, even though it's not overflowing. I think, percent capacity on a total storage of 420 at 90% means we would have a slush of 42. That's probably fine. But if this turns on when it's time for that to be a thing, then we know we will never have too much, theoretically, never have too much sawdust. And that will make me, a little bit less reluctant to try and do some other stuff. But that's not the only thing we really have to automate, because there's other stuff as well. We're a bunch of these very, very specific production buildings. Good sound. We will, we'll see. I'm not opposed to automating these. I just think for right now, it might not be a bad idea to just have a bigger stock of those. We have these, which are mostly empty because our food is not necessarily sufficient. That was something somebody else caught. Most of our food is actually braised cabbage or rice balls, although the rice balls are kind of dwindling. So, we have plenty of stuff we need to do. Not necessarily going to be super quick or easy for us to do it at this exact moment in time. But I'm not opposed to... Oh, come on, rotate the right button. There we go. Not opposed to doing stuff. I'm going to make a medium storage for ropes right here. I think that's just an easy thing to do. And regarding food, it's worth taking a look. Cereal bars aren't looking too bad, but supplying this stuff, berries are still pretty low. That is one of those things we may end up having to just make berries. Hold on. They got hats. Look at this delightful green hat. Hello, Bobbin. But yes. I like it. I lost my train of thought. What was I doing? Okay, we were putting these... No, it's not going to let me click on it. There we go. Putting ladders in. We need more planks. That is something I was trying to avoid, building another sawmill. We do have the advanced sawmill, but please note that is not necessarily a very good replacement for the normal one because this primarily deals with the big sequoia logs. And those are going to be planted over here. In theory, once we have enough dynamite to really, make a good use of this space. Let's Yeah, let's keep up with this. We will eventually need to get more of this done, but I just want to make sure we don't let that fall behind. They are working there. That's all fine. We don't have a lot of contaminated beavers, as you guys noted, so this probably doesn't have to stay in this exact spot. There may actually be a better location for it. So at some point in the future, this may move. I don't know. I'm not exactly willing to commit to that at this point in time. But it is on my mind. We are 2 days and 12 hours, roughly, away from having our 50 exotic seeds. And if you remember, if I remember where to click, it is 1,000 science, which we now have. 40 logs, which we do have. 90 planks, which we do not, but will have. 30 fasteners, which we have. 300 dirt, which we do have. Okay, yeah, there it is. 200 water, not going to be a problem. 10 tools, not going to be a problem. Rope. Technically we do have. And then the seeds. So, once we have the seeds in place, if this is able to be mostly ready by that point in time, which it honestly probably isn't, we'll see. We will see what happens. We're going to have to reconfigure a lot of this, and it might be a little annoying, but I think in due time it'll be worth it. Alright, let me take a look at my list here, because I don't want to get too far without acknowledging most of the stuff you guys want to see. I talked about flattening the forest. We do need to do stuff with fermentation barrels. Maybe not the most important thing right now, but that is still on the list. Talked about deepening the river. That is also on the list, but I think this other use of dynamite is a little bit more important right now. Sunflower oil production. Yeah, that was one of the things. Probably going to use this building to do it once we have our incredibly compact library book set. But, of course, in order to squash them in the machine that makes the glorious noises, we have to have them. Sunflower seeds, which is, you know, a big part of the reason why I put this in. We can expand this by coming up here with dynamite and expanding the area, but it is going to cost quite a bit of dynamite to do that. We will see. We will see. If I were to remove this power shaft here or move it slightly somewhere else, we get a little bit more, but most of our gains would come from leveling this area. Otherwise, you know, we got this whole half of the map we've done nothing with. This always ends up being dark every time I'm talking about this. At some point we need to come over here. But it is going to be a challenge to get this wrangled in a way that will be arable land, because we've got a lot of poison. And remember, in Waterbeavers, there's not as many options to just block these things off. You do have one, and that is, of course, the nuclear power, but we are very far away from that. And it looks like there might actually only be this one clean water seep over here. Oh man, what a nightmare. Well, if we ever have a drought, where we also have the ability to send beavers over here, then maybe, just maybe, we can make some sort of a stand against this. If we come down to the lower levels on the map, yeah, most of this is completely full up through about level 4, level 5. It would not be tremendously difficult to put in some sort of a shunting tunnel like we've done over here. That I did not just show you because, obviously. But I don't think we really need to count on that being a viable thing anytime soon. It is on my list for eventually, assuming we still have the desire to continue this series to that point. But just know that I am thinking about this. It's just not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple at all. But it is an option. We do have this area over here that is currently overrun by brambles. We've done a pretty good job of taming most of the map up to this point. And, you know, seeing how bad water basically isn't going to come through here anymore, assuming we've done it right, thank you, autosave, it would not be difficult to have another farm over here. It will just take a little bit of time. So, you know, just standard issue stuff. It just takes time. We all know this. But I am thinking about it. So, talked about food. We're in the process of fixing that. I'm feeling good about the braised cabbage levels, obviously, but it would be great if we had more fried rice. The fried rice, of course, being made in one of those things over here that I did not click on. Oh no, this is the one doing fried rice. Yeah, this hand of soup is not very soupy. So let's fold this down, take a look. What is holding the... Ah, sunflower oil. Okay. Well, you know what? We don't have... Okay, that is prioritized. Yeah, that's just a supply issue then. Nothing else we've done is really horrible. A good point was made that, you know, we haven't done any monuments, haven't done anything to really increase the well-being, which 23 in a normal game is... Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad. Waterbeaver's well-being goes up over 100, if I am remembering correctly, so objectively this isn't great. The issue that we have is that monuments are expensive. So what we could do, assuming we have the science and we want to use it, is start getting some of these, and they've got some strange statues in here, but they've got some stuff that's not completely insane. That would be a decent add. At the very least, a covered walkway would be a great thing to add right here because we know these beavers are going to be coming into this area. It provides a nice benefit to anybody coming in or out of here. I don't want to put one on top of this T-Lodge terrace thing because these 3 segments of path always disappear for some reason. But what we can do is maybe I'll just do, because I think this one's fine. I'll just put another one of those there. It's, again, a very simple thing we can just stick in and not have to worry about. Do we have ladders? No, we do not. All right. More of this is becoming accessible, but before I set those off, I do want to check and see if these are all in place. Not quite. I do need the beavers to actually finish this before I set it off, or, you know, bad things are going to happen. These, however, can go. Oh, you know what I didn't check that I absolutely should check is if I had any tunnels going under this. Okay, good. That would have been such a bad thing. Oh, boy. Yes, I also need to get this section blasted off so that anything that's in here can be sucked up by those. That was an oversight last time I responded to a comment about that. Someone else left a comment. I know it's just like the comment review, but you know it's important to me that I recognize people providing helpful advice. Irrigation bath would be a great thing to put over here. We, of course, have to have somewhere for it to go that makes sense, but remember that this provides a 15% plant growth bonus. I just don't really have somewhere right now that I could do this. It is on the list. Meanwhile, over here where we have sunflowers and cabbages, which, by the way, we're not doing too great on cabbages right now. Maybe, again, if I can find a spot somewhere, it's not going to give me time of day, is it? Oh, this actually might work. Putting it right here. Yeah, what the heck. We'll do that. And then all I will have to do is get this set up with a ladder. Although, honestly, I could probably just go up on this side and then have a bridge go across. I do know that the game lets you do that. So, that will cause us to only lose 1 plantable tile that we weren't already really doing anything with. And this will give us a pretty good range. It's not going to get everything, but this one should get almost all of these sunflowers and the cabbages and everything. Now, what I don't know is if the effect stacks on this. If we have multiple irrigating elevated public baths, it'll be plus 15%, and then plus another 15% if there's tiles that overlap. And if it does overlap, if it is just an addition to the base value, or if it's department store math, where he's like, take an additional 20% off, and you think, wow, great, I'm going to get 40% off. Like, no, you're not. You're getting 20% off of the already discounted price, so it's like you get another 12.5 or whatever it was. So, we'll see. For right now, though, this is a decent thing for us to invest a little bit more time in. Once again, we find it being dark while I'm trying to talk about all this. I think... Did we already get a ton more zip lines? Okay, now we got 22. That is plenty for now. Let's just hit pause. We don't need that. Okay, another thing that I wanted to discuss was, you know, we had a couple of issues with chestnut availability. So somebody suggested that we plant chestnut trees near zipline stations because the Harvester's Cottage, oh hey, there I am, believe it or not, has pretty incredible reach. because of the zipline system. So any of these currently highlighted areas include... Wow, I cannot stop hiccuping today. Including this area. And almost all of this gives us the ability to, you know, have additional access to stuff. So, we will see. We will see. I don't know, that, like, right now there's anywhere that really makes sense to do it, but I am keeping that in the back of my mind. And if there's an opportunity to exploit that, then, you know, we just might do it. Alright. Dynamite, dynamite, dynamite. Let's just make sure this is all marked. Again, we know it's going to be a whole thing. We're going to have to wait probably a while for all of this to be done, but I want to be prepared as I can be. It's going to start with having more and more sunflower seeds and cabbages, and I was hoping the berries would take off a little bit more. That might be a thing we just have to wait until we have the clockwork farms that are going to help us take some of the farmland away from the cabbages and the sunflowers, so that we can instead have more berries. We will see. There's another option as well, which is the GMO Growing Lab. We're still a ways away from that because we have to have a degree from the ENS, which we have not yet built. Speaking of, we should check on the research. Okay, we're still gathering planks for this. That has not started. We are 26% of the way through. Okay, that's great. We'll need to check on that later. We'll need to absolutely duplicate these because... Oh, hey, Patty. Yeah. Doing that research again is enough to make me throw my computer out the window. All right. Okay. Okay, another thing that we need to at some point address, rudimentary saw blades, crude saw blades, I'm sorry. We have 134 of those, but to my knowledge, we don't have one of these. Oh, never mind, we do. Okay, well, it's already been addressed, but thank you for reminding me anyway. I want to make sure that we, like, these basic things, we always have stuff being made, and it looks like that's taken care of. Yeah, the biggest issue we have right now is probably just making dynamite, which nitroglycerin is a part of that. Okay, so no, we're just waiting for that to get done. Alright, that's fine. This is automated on Sawdust Overflow. Did they build this? No. Well, I guess that's fine, but, of course, what else? Planks. Alright. Okay, alright, okay, I get it, I get it. We need planks. So... full-on drill bits. Do I have storage for drill bits? I probably don't. Okay, you know, I technically do. Those have to go in the glorious storage. So, what I'm gonna do is just build more glorious storages for drill bits because, you know, once we actually get into the part of needing these, we're really gonna wish we had them. So I'm just going to make another 5 storages for those. You can only store 10 at a time. Need to be making metal. I was thinking about maybe, instead of stacking workshops here, putting a couple of these rudimentary sawmills in, because those do utilize very, very similar hookups. That actually wouldn't quite work exactly the way I want them to. Oh, but it does... It does flip. So if I didn't put it there, I could relatively easily put one over here. This, surprisingly, seems like it would go up here. Okay. Well, before we get too excited about this, I am going to have to... yeah, I'm going to have to make absolutely sure I can build this. Okay, it looks fine. Universal power shaft. Make this a huge priority. Come build this immediately. And then I will need another one of these. I think just a regular vertical shaft, which I think they should be able to build, but then this next one, possibly not. We will see. Just have to make sure this is in the right spot. Okay, well that got taken care of. That's what I was really worried about. They can't currently get up here, but if I were to put this... oh, you know what? It's a good thing I checked because this was going to be wrong. Let's do a vertical T-intersection. Yeah, because I don't want this to be a tremendously huge pain in the butt. That going there. Seems like it doesn't care. Putting this here, as long as I had a good way to get up here, which seems like putting a ladder in this exact spot would work okay. That would be fine there. Our closest storage for saw blades is over here. That's not too far. Closest storage for sawdust is... okay, there's not really anything over here, huh? Well, we have options. We do have options. I think what might make sense is to put a ladder here. Get up to the top here because we can store on top of these things. We'll just make some really wretched stuff, alright? So medium pile can be for sawdust, and then I've got space for... I could put another one here. Have that be for plank storage. Or log storage. I guess plank storage is probably fine. And all I would have to do is put another platform here, connect this, and then if I have a long tiny pile, which I do not, it's 75 science, I probably should have one of those. This would be a decent, not a great place, but a decent place to put some logs. So I'm feeling okay about this. It's a spot that's going to allow it to be built and not horribly, stupidly located. That seems okay. This is in the process of being built. Of course, what else is it waiting on but planks? Never seen that one before. Okay, these are getting to the point where they need more dynamite. I am very pleased with how quickly this is filling out, though. Okay, so, exotic seeds. We have 50. We needed 50. And, oh, you know, I used too much science. I guessed wrong. And this is currently making books because we need to have 200 in here. Alright, well, this is using paper to make sky exploration. I've got 83 of those. This could probably be paused. Yeah, let's just pause that. And since that's paused, I can pause this. I'm not going to feel bad. Pare down our population a little bit. Now, we also, since we have our 50, we don't need to be feeding library books to this, which will help. Which also means we can say goodbye to the balloon trader pad for this for the time being. Again, since we already have the seeds. Yeah, I got 36 stored in here, and then in the balloon I've got 14. So that will be okay. They're not going away just because the building is paused. But that does mean we need to be diligent about making sure this gets done as quickly as we can, without causing too many problems. These sandals, if I remember where I built this thing, because I know there's a seamstress thing somewhere. Did I put that here? No, it's an irrigation lodge. Oh, how I wish I could remember what I did 5 days ago. Was that over here? No, that's an irrigation lodge. Why is this messing with me so bad? Was it here? No, that's a zipline station. Oh, no. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to go through here. S is for seamstress. And it is... How in the world did I miss that? Okay, they are waiting on logs. This is not prioritized. There's also only one worker here. Why is there one worker in here? Because I know we're going to need... Yeah, we're definitely going to need sandals. Alright, well, I have extra beavers, so we might as well, you know, have them gainfully employed. This was supposed to be emptied, and now it is. That's fine. We can demolish that. Somebody left a comment about an orphaned zipline pylon somewhere, and I don't know where that would be. Oh. This. Okay. That was because I needed this to be done differently. I don't remember. Well, maybe what we might want to do is make this into a zipline station itself right here. Especially, yeah, if we're going to have underground ruins here, we might want to do that. But before I get all excited about that, the Abyss elevator does take up space, so there might not be favorable conditions for me to even put one of these in here? Chance of speleology accident? Oh, like the guy that went in the cave head first, like an idiot? Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe don't do that. It costs $0 not to do that. Okay, we're going to leave this alone. Do we have all of these? Thank you, autosave. No, we do not. We're still waiting on explosives to go there. Maybe, tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to deprioritize, how to do this without deprioritizing the buildings. Seems like that's fine. Yeah, this side is actually already put in place, but because I don't have this one done, I can't set this off yet. We'll see what happens. This still isn't enough water pumping. Somebody said this would be a great place over here to do something similar. I am inclined to agree, and what I will do, since we have the zipline station here, is I think it will behoove us to have a spot lined up where we can just have these. This is already the bottom of the map, so what if I came over here with my deep pumps and did one here, that'll be the next one, and then one here, of course that'll be after that. And if it's not all clean water, then it's not the end of the world. We can just automate this. Not going to be hard. It just will take some time, as we all know. The question we're going to have is, how am I going to get in here with a zipline station and have it not be a crazy pain in the butt? Well, we have a path already. We know we're going to have some way of getting these guys in here. Let's just make the simplest possible solution to that and come through here. We got 1,400 logs. I'm not going to cry about killing a couple trees. Let's just get rid of that. And then this should being the operative term, let us get through here. I do want to check on the possibility of getting zip lines down here. And I know they can't do anything yet for this. But if I click on connections and then... Okay, so that it's not too steep. I'm actually surprised. I figured that for sure that was going to be too steep. Why don't we try this? Why don't we put in a pylon? If that's going to hit both of those, it does not. This one does not hit that other one. That's probably too steep. This... Okay, this one, of course it doesn't do both. Alright. Maybe what we need to do instead is come through this side? Alright, so we know that one doesn't necessarily work. Is this one... Oh, because it's a pylon, it's... Okay. Alright, easiest thing we can do then is not that. We're just going to have this in a different location. One that also, you know, allows this to connect. I don't know that I'm going to get a close enough... Oh, that actually worked there, but not there. So, you know, logically, I could put one here. In fact, that side's better anyway because it's taller. And it's, theoretically, if we wanted to dam this up, that would be... Yeah, it'd be better to do that. Okay, so I know... This is going to irritate you guys. Come on. Trust the process. Even if it seems like whoever's in charge is completely insane. We'll just ignore this for a little bit. Let's just go up this other side. It's not quite as nuts. Come all the way through here. Come on, autosave. Thank you. And this should allow... Coming over here, getting rid of these trees, at least on this bit right here. And then I am reasonably certain I can get down. It might actually be too steep, but it'll be closer. And it'll be close enough, ideally, to still put in a pylon as the intermediary bit. So we'll get to that before the heat death of the universe. So let's check on... Nope, still no ladders over here. What about this mess? What else could it possibly be waiting for, if not for planks? Alright, screw press axles are screw pressing. This one's making sawdust. This one is supposed to be automated to the sawdust low alert, so that can be paused. Screw press axles. This one should be making planks. Yes, but very, very, very slowly. That seems okay. This is waiting on what else? Planks. So that tells me that maybe I should prioritize building this, because it's only 10 planks. And I believe they're probably using those planks. Oh, yes, they are on these pump upgrades. Okay, yeah, this is much more important because it's going to allow us to get more planks. It's like that Simpsons meme. It's like, oh, I wanted peanuts, or whatever the thing was. Like, oh no, money can buy goods and services, whatever it was. Did they? Nope. Oh, of course not, because guess what it's waiting on? Alright, yeah, okay, we're going to leave that alone. Did they? No, they did not. Of course they didn't. I didn't give them a way to get over there. Now, the well being over here, because of the covered walkways, may have gone up a tiny bit. We are getting about half the beavers with this. Sandals are helping as well. Peacock could use a boost. Probably because the beavers are working 16-hour days. Now, the role-playing games bit is supposed to be, if we have a nerdy attic, which I did not research, I thought I had. And I don't have... Oh, what was... I already forgot. What was this that they were not doing? Trebuchet we're not to yet. Okay. Shrubs. Hedge does not give that. So what... Is that just a holdover, or is there not a... They're not a shrub. Okay. Okay, we do not have wine. That's not a basic need. Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. Brain boosting salts. I forgot that I had removed the aromatic burner, and I think it would not be a horrible idea to try to put that back in. This water is empty. So why don't we... Oh, that's not going to fit there. Why don't we just right here at the district center put one of those back in. That is under here. So that will hopefully do something. I know we do have plenty. I think we're making more. That's not it. There we go. That one has plenty of bad water, strong alcohol, etc. Chestnut beer is chestnut beering, although we don't have a lot. We probably need to have more of these fermentation barrels. I know that was something that was discussed. I had kind of not wanted to put anything on top of these warehouses in case I needed to stack stuff. But to be perfectly honest, that's not the right one. To be perfectly honest, I have not done anything on this in a long time, so I will just humor you guys and put on more fermentation barrels. We don't exactly have a ton of chestnuts. We also don't exactly have a ton of rice either. But I don't think it would be a bad idea to have these available regardless. So why don't we... Yeah, because this is already a ladder. Why don't we just extend this ladder up, which I know we don't have planks, but not going to be the end of the world. Come up here. Gives us the ability to put a couple things. We can always swap it over to something else if we want. We could do one of these with, yeah. So that seems fine. Why not? I'll do a little pile for rice grains there. Do I dare check on... Oh, they built it! Except now they can't... Oh, the cruelty of life. Now we have to build the ladder to get up here so we can actually make the planks that we need to build all these ladders. Well, at the very least, it is working. We need to connect these two power networks. That is not necessarily as simple as it sounds. More of a long-term project. I'm not super crazy worried about it right now. This power network is actually currently adequate. So that seems like it's doing okay. Maybe we should... I don't want to delete these balloons, but we should at some point start doing more of these. Because Iron Teeth can get us some useful things, like berries. If we want to send 12 pieces of rope, we'll get 50 berries back. Amperes... currently not super useful, but they could be. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Send them 50 cheeseburgers, you get 2 rudimentary sawmill blades. These apples? Yes, they are, because Ember Pelts, you can grow apples from apple trees. This one, if you rush this, and you have library books to spare, I don't know how you would, but you could get giant logs without growing the trees. That is intriguing. Let's check here. Oh, I've got 195. We are so close, folks. We are very close to having our incredibly compact library set, which, yes, it does literally just stick them in a vise, hydraulic press style. The that folding a piece of paper 7 times or 8 times or whatever is still one of the funniest videos I think I ever remember seeing. Just the sheer amazement and surprise. And the word I can't say on this channel, but I thought it was funny. It's very endearing. Let's do more of these. Remember, we don't want to blast under this because that could cause problems, but this is going to come down anyway. We are getting very close, friends. Very close. Looks like we just need another 30 or 40 pieces of dynamite, which honestly shouldn't take that long. I don't think they've finished these. They did not. That's fine. The rest of this seems like it's doing okay. Oh, I know something we can do. Somebody left a comment saying that we did not have all of our trees marked for cutting in some of these new areas that we planted trees in that were supposed to be cut. I'm going to be completely honest. I do not remember who it was. Oh, there's a single tree. Now it is marked. And now that one's marked. And, okay, these are just, you know, growing beyond the bounds of the original thing because these weren't marked for cutting. That's fine. That's not the end of the world. We have a bad tide coming in 3 days, which gives us a fantastic opportunity to see if we have indeed solved our problem. I'm pretty confident this will be fine. Maybe it won't be. We'll see. Yeah, I'm actually a little nervous about this. Oh, do I want to send them down in here? Do I want to do it? This is possibly a bad choice. Oh, planks. Planks, planks, planks. What am I to do? Oh, this is actually accessible. Good. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do because I have absolutely no trust in the system whatsoever. I don't want that, actually. It does have to be a ladder. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of that. Well, do I have... okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to painstakingly babysit this. I'm going to dynamite this. I'm going to have to put in 2 things of ladders because I really want this to not be a problem again. And I know that is kind of a tall order when you consider just how much dynamite we've got going on here. I might, to make this happen in 2.5 days, I might have to harvest the dynamite that I've already put down for the pumps. Which isn't as big of a deal as you might think it is. But I really don't want this to overflow. This is, I think, the most important thing. And it's possible the 2-block high thing is going to be enough. But I trust this about as far as I can throw it, which is 0 feet, because this is not something that is tangible. Alright, now what this is going to allow me to do, carefully... yeah, let's just make sure that's all accessible. Okay, come over here, and we are going to, for better or for worse, get these set up to blow again all the way out. Alright, that's like 50 pieces of dynamite, and I am certain you're about to call me insane for getting rid of these things. But we get all 3 of them back. So this should, if we are... I forgot to mark these as priority. It should allow us to get this done, and again, I think this is way more important. So that's going to go there. Triple speed time. This is, of course, waiting on planks. What else? Bad tide is not necessarily the best time for us to be doing this anyway, but I feel like it's going to be the time that ends up happening. These are marked for cutting. We already talked about that. That's okay. Food is slowly improving, even if it is mostly cereal bars. When this is irrigating and providing better growth, it's going to help a lot. These are both going. That's fine. I should check and see if this has started compressing. 67%. I would take that to mean yes, which means this can go back on turbo speed science. We need our 1,000 science for the tree nursery anyway. Now let's come back here to see if they have gotten anything accomplished. Alright. I forgot I have to have... Oh, that was already marked. Alright. Well, they will at some point get this accomplished. I really hope I don't need it to be deeper than 3. I don't think it will be a problem. But you know how this goes. I have been wrong before, and I have been very wrong before. We'd like to avoid that. They still have not done this because, of course, planks. But that is on the list of stuff to improve. This is also supposed to be blasted down. Yeah. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. That I'm not going to wait for. That can be removed. Just need to keep a better eye on this. Get that set up with a piece of dynamite as soon as that's removed. Got 10 beavers who are unemployed. 5 beavers who are unemployed. So I guess something just connected. How are we doing here? Okay, they've gotten this done. That is good progress. They say they're out of materials. That's unfortunate. But I guess these are the most important ones to have deeper anyway, because that's where the most of the stuff is coming from. We got 1.3 days. In theory, it should not be that big of a deal. These get made 5 at a time. Nitroglycerin, once again, is our pain in the butt. We know I have logs. Do I have log storage over here? I don't think I do. No, I don't. Okay, well, you know what? That is probably not helping at all. So let's fix that by making this a log storage set to obtain priority. Get that prioritized. Okay, so for this to work, it is going to be necessary for me to remove these triple dynamites so they can pick them up. We'll put them back later, don't worry. It's just this insurance policy is a little bit more important, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree, that's always allowed. Alright. So we know this is good to go. I do want to try to give them as much time as possible to get the rest of this in. I think they can get most of it. And if they do get infected, contaminated, whatever you want to call it, then it's not that bad because they have time to go on the twirl and hurl. But this bit is taken care of. That's good. We know we have... Okay, can't get required materials. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the only ones we can actually get at this exact moment in time. Why are they not... Crude saw blades, logs... oh, this is not prioritized. Okay, well... That will help, maybe. Okay, these could probably be deprioritized. I know we're not lacking, but just while I was over here. Builders are fine. They're storing clay and waste rock, which is objectively kind of funny. I think at this point there's probably not much else we can do. Probably not much else we can do. Unless they got that set up log-wise. Okay, yeah, this is really helping. Having this fully stocked. Yeah, that was causing us a lot of problems. Now, as long as we can get this... See, all these are not prioritized by haulers, and they need to be. Depending on who you ask. Some people think this is the worst thing ever. Some people think it's the best, and I'm probably somewhere in between. Just recognize it's something that has to be done. This has 3 workers, though, so I don't think I need to do that as long as stuff is nearby, which it is. But these, running at maximum speed at all times is probably really important. Come on, I just need one more nitroglycerin here. There we go. Set that thing in motion. It's not going to go overnight, though. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, boys and girls, because this is not ready. I've got this here. Which, you know, it's good to have. That is a very good thing to have that extra capacity, but I am a little concerned. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Well, we're going to find out in real time exactly what happens here. We've got this that has been successfully automated to Bad Gary. So the moment Bad Tide starts, this will whip up. The rest of them have been diverted. And we will see what happens here. Before I hit unpause. This was automated with Bad Gary. It does have pollution resistance factor currently in the building. That was one of the things I was concerned about. So, I really want to see, probably the most important thing to watch is over here, though. I really want to see how this activates all at once. Alright, Bad Tide, begin. Yes. Alright, so that's up immediately. Bad Tide has started. Bad Gary has activated. These are about to spew here. So are these. Okay, those are out. Okay, we know this is protected. This is now coming in here. That's spilling through this hole. This is not high enough to backfeed, which is very good. This is going to meet here, and it may be a little bit hairy. But for now, this seems okay. What about over on this side? Okay, that is very full. Nothing bad has happened because this is active. Wow, that was quick. Okay, that seems good. As long as this doesn't backfill, then, yeah. Yeah, you know, it might actually be fine. The level is not creeping up. Oh, nope, nope, nope. That is dangerously close to overfilling. And I fear it's going to reach the top here before it equalizes. Not that I can do anything about it, honestly. I shouldn't be worrying about this. But it's still interesting to follow it. Okay, that's actually going down. On the backside, you can see that white showing up more. Did we manage to save it? I believe we might have. Okay, because that's obviously not full at the end. It wouldn't be. I think we may have solved that problem, folks. As long as this does not spill over this way, because we know it's going out. Come back in here. We should be okay. Should be good. That's good. This is fine. That's fine. This is not going anywhere. We already knew about that. We talked about that last episode. I believe we have quote-unquote solved the problem. That is very encouraging. And this is also very encouraging. This is finished, but guess what? The ladders aren't. That's not going to require a science degree for you to figure out what that means. 70% done. Did they start this? 37%. Very good. We are making such good progress. Oh, I feel so much better about this episode versus the last one. This has gone so much better. Alright, now I know we've had these seeds here for a while. I don't exactly have extra dynamite. But I do need to get this in. I want to do it before the end of this episode. So what that means is, as long as this isn't backflowing, which it is not, I am going to render this as a lower priority. And we can just send all of the rest of this dynamite to the area that we actually need it. They're not down here, so I will cave for Kaboom this just because I can. Hopefully that doesn't backflow anything. That spider webbing always scares me, but then I turn the... Oh! Okay, that was on me. That was 100% my fault. Should not have done that. Should not have done that. Well... At the very least, I do have a pretty good idea why that happened. And it's not that much. So what we can do is we can turn these on. And eventually this will help clean it out. But it's the more likely thing that's going to happen is that this just slowly evens out and evaporates over the next cycle or two. It's not going to be enough contamination to really cause any problems. It's just, you know, a little bit of an injury to my pride. Okay, what was this? Regular zipline system blueprints. We should, in pretty short order, have... Ah, it actually looks like it's done. Okay, I'm going to turn this one back to... Well, it was never back to, because this was this from the start, but I'm going to have this do sunflower oil. So we know we have this one also. Sunflowers are slowly starting to come in from here. I think we would really like to have another farmhouse or assistant farmers or something, so that'll be something we do at some point. Yeah, you know, you can't even really see the bad water here anymore. It'll show up. Once this is pumped sufficiently dry, it will show up. You'll be able to tell it's there. But for the time being, it seems like it's alright. Okay, we've got 9, we've got 11 over here. I don't necessarily want this bit to be cut out, but that's fine. This is like another 20. Yeah, we still have like 30 dynamite that we have to do something with over here. Nitroglycerin is still a problem. Well, I think it's just an issue of bottlenecking. Medical balm. I'm going to have this one make nitroglycerin also because I just want this to be done as fast as possible. So we are going to have to tear this down, rebuild this, probably reroute the zip lines. We may actually not be able to use the zipline station right here because those trees are going to be so tall. They're not the giant sequoias anymore, but they are still pretty big. I believe it's a 2x2. Yeah, it's a 2x2. I just have to figure out what the orientation is for where it spreads. There's a certain direction these multi-step plants like to take. And it will give you clues when you try to put this down, like it won't let you put it in a specific spot. See, this right now is acting like it's a 3x3, but I was told it's a 2x2. Of course, I need to unlock that first. Yeah, and it's like it wants to go that direction. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't need 3x3. Well... we will find out. I was also told that we should be planting grapes around these things, and I don't know exactly what that person meant by that, but again, we will find out. It's what we do. And these are ready to be cut down. I don't really have storage for more logs, which means I'm not building enough, if that's what the problem is. Tell you what, let's think about how we want to go about doing this. I know I want to put more storages in. I don't really have a great spot in this exact location for them. These are liquids we're making. Spicy soda and tea. And look at this radioactive green tea. It's like matcha, but with battery acid in it. This is still doing okay? Alright. Well, we have all this empty space over here, and we really don't need all these many beavers doing this, so why don't we, leave space here. I want to take these out, and I suppose, again, seeing how we kind of don't really have anything else to do over here, I'm going to put in some large warehouses for some things that are kind of important that we don't technically have yet. Like, say, grape storage. Not a bad idea to have grape storage. Pumpkin chips we're going to be making at some point soon-ish, if I remember. And pumpkins themselves. Why not? Just so we have somewhere for those already designated. If you are not familiar, pumpkins can be grown by the large farmhouse, but they do have to be on land and not in water. So some of this area, if we manage to improve our farms, would be a decent place for those to go. They cannot be planted by these farmhouses, but they can be harvested by these farmhouses. And they're another thing, I believe, unless this has changed, and it's possible it did. I believe they're another thing that is 2x2, but based on how this is going, it might not be. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have these spaces not like demolished, because I'm not going to demolish these, but I will not replant them. Oh, I guess those got shrunk down to single tiles. Okay. Because normally it would not let you plant this unless it had clearance. So let's just hope I was right. And if I'm wrong, then either the game will crash or there will be a very unhappy pumpkin accident. But pumpkins are good because they can get turned into pumpkin chips. That's another food source that will get them some additional benefit. Just gonna have to monitor this. More stuff going on over here. Not enough water, that's fine. They're gonna pump this and that's fine. This is still not pumping quite fast enough, and that is, remember, why I was... Oh, good! They actually got a decent amount of stuff done here. Guess what? It's planks again. Planks for the memories. Even if they weren't so great. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll fit. That's fine. I need to see if I can put a zipline station here. I know this is not necessarily the best arrangement for this. However, if I can get this to go somewhere over here, let's just check. Okay, that is too far. So all I need to do is get one of these pylons in range. That looks like that will fit, but it won't fit up here. This is too far, or is it too steep? Too far. Okay, so we know this can go here and be in range. But here is too steep. So that is going to be where we will have to come up. Maybe make a little bit of a detour. That's too many connections, and it's also got the land in the way. Yeah, you know what? Let's... I suppose... Not the best solution ever, but this will allow us to do this. Even if it's a little bit of a detour, we can maybe redo it at some other point. The whole point is to enable access to this that is not completely stupid. So that is going to be what we do with this. These are deep pumps, right? Okay, good. That was what I was a little worried about. Upgrade, 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 upgrade. Come on. Place yourself in the correct location, please, and thank you. Alright, so 5 of those is a decent start. This is going to flood with bad water a lot, so I don't want to plant trees that I'm actually going to use here. Even so, I'm going to clear out, just for the time being, these already dead pines. We'll start putting some tanks back here. And it's probably not going to be a bad idea to come over here, since this is really, really simple. We know this is going to be a problem later, but we're not going to deal with that right now. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just ignore this tunnel. I know you guys pointed out that this would be a good thing for us to use, but we have zip lines. So what I might do, since we have beavers who can be projectile vomited into submission in terms of letting them get in bad water areas, if this is going to go in the hole, in the correct spot, not be a problem, that will just block this off. We don't have to worry about it again. That will really help. Now, I can't get them over here quite yet, but remember, we don't need to worry about this quite so much because we have tons of trees, tons of whatever that we don't need to, you know, be super worried about. We don't need to worry about it because we don't need to be worried about it. Yeah, that makes total sense. Good job. They just need to have access over here. They can do it with their, you know, bless them. They're trying. They're trying, but it's It ain't gonna work. I need to put a memory or a relay. It's a relay. Okay, I need a relay on that. Oh, I can't build these outside the calculatorium. Oh, look what else we haven't finished. All right. It's fine. I can just put this on top of something. It doesn't really matter. I just need this to be a NOT gate for Bad Gary. So if Bad Gary is off, then we'll call this Bad Water. No, we'll call this exit pumps, because that's an exit. Because even if the bad water is not a problem here, there's not going to be anything stored up. These need to be automated to exit pumps. And then we don't need to have this really be a whole thing. That might not be the best way to do it, but it's the way we're going to do it, and we're going to move on with our lives. This is connected now. That's good. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. We are getting there. We are getting there. So now the bad tide is over. Did they put any additional... No, they did not. Alright, that's fine. So, now this will be... yeah, see, there's no really bad water here. A little tiny bit coming through here because of that, but that will wash out pretty fast. We didn't run out of water, you will note. And we are not quite full on drill bits, which is fine. A little bit of bad water in here. We already talked about that. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It'll go away. Now all I need them to do is get these last couple bits of dynamite in. And I can set this off, and then we can start, hopefully, planting some of the fun stuff. Just need this to do the best it can. I don't want to blow any beavers up if I don't have to. And you know what? For the time being, I'm going to remove these two because I do still want to maintain access to that without having to redo absolutely everything. Looks like we've only got a couple of pieces of dynamite left. I'm sure this probably irritates the crap out of you guys waiting, but it will be worth it. Just gotta do what we gotta do. I'm gonna leave this in place for the time being. We'll see where it lets me plant my my trees. Okay, I think these are all done. I really hope nobody gets exploded. So we're gonna do K for Kaboom on all the corners and some of the vulnerable points. And here we go. Lag. Beautiful. So what we've got now is a slope that can be demolished. We can unplant all of these. Let's get that demolished. But now we have to have a location to put our, not the right thing, to put our tree nursery, which is going to be unlocked. Now this has a couple of options for how you can put it in. As long as the doorway's not flooded, it can go in water, to my knowledge. I don't really have a spot that would fit. Except right here, actually. But that wouldn't give me enough space to work, so I think what's going to happen is this will go... it may have to go standing on a spot or in this general area in the middle. Actually, you know what? That might make sense. Putting it in... Is that two blocks up? Yes, it is 2 blocks up. Yeah, putting this here is in the middle. It's not the worst thing. There's an access there. There's an access to the top. What do I want to do? I do want this close to a zip line. What kind of effect is that going to have on... Okay, that's not close enough. If I put this here... Oh, you know what? Putting this here, even if we don't have a tremendously huge range on this level, putting this here will allow me to have some of these other things that aren't super crazy, like grapes, to be grown in places that are convenient to their harvesters. I don't see much over here. Now that being said, we don't have to have that right here. We can still put this here and just be careful with how we have things set up. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take these trees out. I'm going to build this thing right here because this zipline station is still in place. And we will see how this lines up. I think this would be best since it would be closest to a zipline station and still allow us to get most of this, and more importantly, once we blast this down. Okay, let's see. Just get that out of here. I actually didn't need all those gone. I just needed a couple of these. Well, triple speed's your best friend in this exact bit. Come on. Okay, now, putting this here means that I can put in a platform or a bridge. I may actually want to do a bridge for this. Yeah, let's do that. That will get this connected to the second story, which will allow us to get to the zip lines and... Wow, I did not think it was going to go all the way over here. This is a tapper shack, so that wouldn't work there, but let me click on this again. Yeah, this would give us a decent opportunity to put some grapes if these were irrigated up here. Not a bad spot. This obviously is just the tiniest little bit. Right here, not a bad place. Not a bad place. This is good. It's already that. And obviously we have space in the water here. Remember, we're trying to do the, what's it called? The bamboo. And that will be fine even without whatever, but it still, for the time being, allows us to get in. Anyway, at long last, we can get the golden sequoias. And I know it says it won't let me plant except for this, but I guess we're going to see. Now, this obviously is not going to work on this level to also work on this level, so this will need to be added. I would like to keep this in the same general area. I don't know if it's going to let me do that. I cannot flip this. Well, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing ever is. No way. Is it actually going to let me get away with this? Okay, well, we know that's not going to work. Maybe we should keep, in the path of the zipline, we'd keep the smaller trees. And if I can just have this kind of reach the same area, maybe it's not going to be the end of the world. This would work. It's, you know, not great. But I think I can think of a way to... There is no chance this actually works. Seriously? Okay. Look, if you're going to let me do it, I'm going to do it. Like, rest assured, we are going to do some absolute foolishness here. Give me my overhang walkway, please, and thank you. Okay, that's not going to work. Skewer platform. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, friends. We can have both. We're not going to keep this one, but... for a brief moment in time, it was glorious. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. It's time to go literally anywhere else. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Are they going to cut these down? They cannot reach these. We have 1,200 logs. Oh, people are going to be upsetty spaghetti if I do that. Let's just put in a lumberjack flag here and be done with it. So this, of course, has not been finished yet. It is waiting on... Oh, just labor. Okay. Well, hurry up then. Come on down. Come on down. Hurry it on up. And that got built. This is now... No reachable tiles to irrigate. It's got water in there, covered area, effective range. There we go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Instead of 50 days, it's going to say 42. I think. Well, that is once this gets finished. Let's check on our pumpkins, shall we? 52%. I think I will wait to see if these grow properly before planting more, but that seems like it's going to be a good sign. We cannot forget also about the... oh, no, I guess lotuses were the only other thing. Like I said, pumpkins are going to be good. The growth boost is really, really, really going to help. Just so many of these things. Okay, that says 5 days. It should say... It should be a lot faster than 5. No reachable tiles to irrigate. I don't think so, bucko. This should all be irrigated. I think we had one of these problems before because there was no water in it. Alright, so we know it's 5 days and it's 6 days, 17 hours. As soon as this gets actually... there we go. 4 days, 6 hours, and... That still says 6 days, 17. 5 days, 17. Yeah, minus 15% growth time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's going to work. That's going to work. Doesn't reach over here, though, does it? No, does not seem so. Well, that's fine. Not the end of the world. Okay, plant me my sequoias. Please and thank you. Sure are taking a long time. Whoa, okay. That still seems like it's a 3x3. Who is it that said it was a 2x2? Okay, well, doesn't matter. That seems like that's gonna work. All right, cool. I will just do this. I will have this area, this strip on the side planted as grapes. And this is 1, 2, 3. That's enough for me. Why did that just come back in my head? That will work. That will work. These will be removed, and then I will have, I guess, 9 of these things. Oh, boy, we're going to have such a great time with this. Zipline is going to make this impossible, so this tells me this would be a good place to plant grapes, at least until we can redo everything else. Okay, the sound effect of these beavers swimming reminds me of like a dog drinking out of a bowl. Okay, that's not going to fit there. This will, once these are, that'll get me 2 more there, and then this won't be. Okay, I don't need to babysit this so much. What I do need is I need to get more dynamite, and I need to finish blasting this out. And we may end up, well, depending on how long it takes these to grow, which is 42 days, we may need to plant more trees somewhere else. I don't know. We will see. How many times have I said we will see in this video? We won't see because I'm not going to sit here to do the math, but I think the grapes have to be collected by a harvester's lodge. Mousing over does not work. Days to grow. Civilization comes back at last. A fermenter beaver. Yes, there you go. Okay, gather flag harvester's office, harvester's cot. No, hold on. You know what we might have? Because this is connected to the zip lines. Ooh, so close. So close. Alright. So what's going to happen is this grape is going to be removed, and we are going to put in a ladder here. Or I guess I could just do stairs. Cheaper. Yeah, get those grapes out of there. And once that's done, hopefully this works. 1 grape. A single grape. Really? Okay, this is already connected on a ladder there. Well, okay. I think slightly longer timeline, this gets lowered down, that might help a little bit more. For now, this is fine. I don't need to be this much of a nitpicky you-know-what about it. So, I'll just put that there. We have enough beavers anyway. Not gonna be a problem. Okay, let's come over here. Oh, okay, we're at almost an hour and a half. I should wrap this up soon. These are still not all the way done. I can get these out, because this is a separate thing. Okay, that's going to flow that way. This is still fine. I don't see there's much pollution going on. Okay, this is connected here. I'm gonna... Yeah. I'm gonna leave the stairs in place because why not, but we can plant these as sunflowers, no problem. Okay, sunflower seed number is still pretty low. Sunflower oil number is still pretty low because we are kind of maxed out on a bunch of stuff, but food does seem to be slowly improving. Okay, 87%. Reminding me to check back in a half a day on that, day and a half. And these being 42.5 days instead of 50 is a huge bonus. But to get these processed, we do have to have a golden sequoia feller, which is a dedicated building, and then they can only be processed into something else with the advanced Salma, which is 1000 HP. That will have to be specially built. Takes 2000 science, which we do not currently have. Okay, let's check our ENS blueprints, because I'm pretty sure those are done. That is, in fact, done. Let's go back to scaffolding. This is maybe done. Yes, that can go back 2 gears. So what we need to do now is be very careful not to accidentally get rid of these storages for these. I guess I did not do a good job of organizing this at all. No, I know we need to get rid of these things. It's on the list eventually. Okay, ENS blueprints. Architectural, I'm doing for the non-modified ones, so we know we absolutely have it. Mechanical, right there. I need to fancify ENS mechanical, and then we need to duplicate it from there. So this will be the first 2 that we do. We may not even need this storage if I can just get them to go in there, but these aren't built, so that'll be alright. We just have to wait and see. Of course, this happens in the middle. It always happens in the middle of the night when I have all these other things going on, and then I have to stop because we have to wait. Darn beavers can't work 24-hour days. Alright, so ENS mechanical blueprint should come right in here, unless it has to go in the storage first, which is entirely possible. We just have to wait. So, there we go. That's being fancified, which means if it is being fancified, then we don't need a storage for the dull one. We can have the fancy mechanical blueprint. And that there is fine to get changed because they'll just take this out when we start doing this. Once this is fancy, I can swap the recipe, because then this will go over there. Alright, ENS fancy mechanical blueprint will be removed and brought over here. There we go. So now this is empty, which means we can change this over to architectural blueprint. And this one will hold that in its output until we can get this other one done. I love it when a plan comes together. Alright, so that is now at 1. So this, for the time being, can be paused while this one finishes, and then we will have 5 of the fancy, or not 5 of the fancy, 5 of the regular mechanical blueprints. And then when this gets swapped over to the architectural, then we'll have 5 of the regular ones, and then we can pause this, unpause this, rotate between there, and then we will have 5 each of the fancy ones for the ENS. We can't build the ENS yet, but we will be that much closer. So that has now... Oh, 3 of them. I forgot that this doesn't do what I thought it did. Okay. Well, 3 is still fine. We're probably never going to build 3 ENSs anyway. Okay, and they're going to have to stop. But that's fine. Let's take this back to mechanical, because that is not the recipe this is using. Fancify these, they will go into storage, and then we can turn these back off again. Or maybe we could start making comic books. We'll see. Because they've got the, yeah, they've all got sandals. Well, almost all. They've almost all got tools. Homeless ones might not. Satchels. It's a satchel. I digress. That needs to go... Yeah, we'll just have to keep monitoring this. Okay, pumpkins, I guess, got harvested just fine. Alright, good. Well, this has been very informative now that we have 1x1 pumpkins. Somebody probably told me this, and I said, oh, cool, that's a neat change, and then I completely forgot about it. That's par for the course. But now that we know that's good, Pumpkin chips are a function of the cooking tent, which requires pumpkins. What do you call it? And yeah. So it's objectively not a great recipe, but it is a recipe that we can do. Industrial kitchen doesn't handle those. It's basically just the cooking tent. Alright, fancy mechanical blueprints. We're going to go in here. Once these are finished, we will, of course, finish this. I just need these architectural ones to be done. 15 hours to duplicate. Come on, beavers. Come on, beavers. 90%? Come on. And you're done. Alright, so now we've got 3 of those. I can swap this over to architectural and we won't have any interference. We're working. We're getting something done. Yeah, get these trees cut down. Let's plant these others. Those are at 90-something%. That's fine. Oh, I've got explosives. Don't sound so enthusiastic, you might say. Well, it's not a problem until it's a problem. Kaboom. Okay, now that this is here, I've got to check my range again on the Harvester's Cottage. Oh, that's abysmal. Which, Why did I... Oh, you know what I didn't do? Is I did not get this hooked up on this other side. Oh, the things that I wish I had done correctly when I did them. Or did not do them, rather. Okay, this piece of path is not necessarily what we want. Okay, 3, 6... that is not really going to be that beneficial, but I could put another couple of trees there. Anyway, I'm supposed to deepen this. But I need it to be in range of here, and this is going to have a, some sort of way to get down. Ladder, is that going to actually be worthwhile? Okay, that'll give me a decent amount of space. I just need to be able to put some bamboo in here. The bamboo is the goal, which means this actually needs to be blown up, just like everything else, and then, brought back. Oh, actually going down might not make that viable. The bamboo might be 1 by 1 now too, now that I think about it. Oh, who knows? I can't keep up with absolutely everything. I know, shocker. Okay, that is backside, that's fine. Let's come back here. I know I have dynamite, I just don't have a ton. So if this is going to be gone this way, then I don't need to worry about this staircase being here except for these beavers to pop stuff, but then we also have... Yeah, you know what? We don't need that. So instead, I don't think I need to worry about... you know what? Doesn't matter. Does not matter. This will go there, and this should give them the ability... Oh, ugly. This should give them the ability to... Oh, I forgot this was here. Yeah. That's what I wanted with my chestnut trees. Come on, chestnut trees. Alright, not the most perfect thing ever, but it will, again, work just fine. Alright, now that this is in place... Oh, they still can, but when I go to explode this, K for kaboom, is this going to be the same range? No, no, because this isn't... Alright, man. I got so excited... And I could not hide it. Alright, this is in the way. That's fine. I'm not going to be worried about it. Whoa! Hold on. Okay. That needs to go. This is objectively kind of funny. Not going to lie to you. Oh, I can't see anything. This might actually be annoying. But, you know what they say. If it works, it works. And boy, oh boy, does it seem like this is going to work. Alright. Get these trees out of here, man. Come on. I got stuff to do. Why can I not hear? Is that because of the zip line? Yeah, it's only going to let me put this here, which means I might as well just put one here. And then the rest of this can be grapes. Well, that's fine. You know, we want to be able to access the grapes. I don't... Stop clicking on you. And from this point on, I think it's just going to be an issue of where can I stick it. Survey says here, although that doesn't really line up very well. Like I said, I am going to probably have to redo this. For now, I feel decently comfortable with just having these. I know it could be a whole lot better, but if I'm going to be able to commit to a reasonable grid for these things, I'd like to hold them to that. But this being here... Now, if I do this, I'm just going to check. I could put one more here, one more here, and then I guess that's in the... Okay, you know what? I can't be mad about that. That seems like that would work out okay. As long as I can put these in the right spot. Now, on this level, it seems like it wants me to start there, which is there. Okay, you know, I shouldn't say I'm not mad about that because I've already said that like 18 times. But truth be told, friends, I'm not mad about that. Okay, this does not need to be replanted. I can remove those. In fact, I could probably blast this down and get more bamboo. Let's check here. Caper kaboom. Oh, you know what I did is I made it so they couldn't get to this. Wait a second. Oh no, they still can from there. Alright, crisis averted. Now the question is... Yeah, okay, we lost a little bit of range here. So why don't I instead, since we have the technology, that's a double. Let's do that. 99%, that'll be cut down soon enough. That may allow me to get into these corners. I don't know, maybe, maybe not, but it couldn't hurt. After all, the goal is to just get as much of this in here as possible. Oh, this episode's already too long. Well, tell you what we'll do, is we will finish whatever we reasonably can over here. Oh, they're playing... Look at how fun that is. Don't you love it? It's delightful. And this does have to be gathered by a gatherer flag, which I will remind you we do have. Oh, that can't reach. This one? No. Okay, well, when the time comes, we will have, I am sure, the correct... availability here. I guess I could put in where this tree is a gatherer flag right there, because I'm not going to have any sequoias here because they won't fit. Oh, come on, beavers. Come on, beavers. I'm feeling so good about this. Help me feel just a little bit better and we'll be good to go. Alright, we do have pumpkins getting stored here. That is fine. We are not making pumpkin chips yet. That will become something we do later. Grapes, I don't know that the beavers can eat grapes. I think that has to be processed. They're wine snobs. Oh no, they can't eat them. Okay. Well, where is the... Is it under cooking? Yes. Wine cellar requires a degree in agronomy, which that's an ENS thing we don't have yet. 1000 science, we're not that far off, but we don't have the degree. Okay, so here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to end this one pretty quick here. But next episode we should probably look into placing an ENS. And we should look into what we want to specialize in first, whether it's agronomy or the mechanical stuff. For those of you who are not familiar, the agronomy degree also, in addition to the wine cellar, allows us to get the GMO growing lab, which is a great option for making more berries. The mechanical stuff allows us to get to the advanced things. Actually, metallurgy is the high temperature foundry. What was the other degree thing? Is it for balloons? Honestly, I should just look at it. All right, agronomy, we've got humanities. I'm pretty sure that relates to the abyss. Metallurgy we already talked about. Pilot's licenses, that's for airships, which are basically free products. Nuclear physics. I have a theoretical degree in physics. They said you're hired. Robot, great game. PhD in robotics for bots, and then this also will make Clockwork robotic controllers, which is for the Clockwork farms and other things. And processors, which I believe are components of the bots. let's, for the time being, just do the best we can to get the rest of these things online. These are going to come online at different times, which is, you know, that's the way it goes. But I think we're fine. Is this going to reach here? It will. Okay. That says it cannot, I forgot. I forgot this has to be connected to something. Oh, choices were made today, boys and girls. So this could go this way. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to have this come up this side. And it's probably going to have to be... I know this is going to be, like, really stupid. But the thing that's going to allow this to work first and ask questions later is to do this little zigzag around this tree, because I've already planted it. This is ready to get K for Kaboom. Please nobody get exploded. Thank you. And that doesn't even reach all of this quite yet. Okay, well, you know, we'll have better ways to get around at some point, but for now, I definitely want to get this bamboo going. Okay. Alright, well, I really can't delay this any longer, else you guys are going to get a little antsy, but I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. I'm having so much fun with Waterbeavers, and I know it gets exhausting doing this a lot. But I think it's a fun mod, I think it's a fun game, and I really appreciate you guys being here. Beard Boosters, you already know, somehow, if you do not, they are almost quite literally the only reason I can still do what I do here on YouTube and not have to worry quite as much about the algorithm. Because, truth be told, it takes a lot of time and a lot of mental energy to try and do this on top of everything that else I got going on. But I really appreciate you guys who believe in what we're doing here without having to do sponsors or any of that other stuff. You guys are the sponsors. You make it possible. And I don't have to do a stupid ad read, unless you count this as a stupid ad read, in which case, well, you know that's on you. But I'm thankful for you and your contributions, and I am very, very excited to see where we're going to go with this. I just want to make sure this gets connected as best as it can. These are almost ready to go. Well, we're just going to have to remember that we were going to do that. I do want to, before we say goodbye, put that there. And I think, friends, this is legitimately where I do have to leave this. Have a great rest of your day. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of yours, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.